Chapter 6. In the confusion, I didn't notice anyone approaching. An umbrella was covered above, and a gentle and concerned voice sounded behind. "Miss, are you all right?" I suddenly got up and felt dizzy. My body was tilted out of control. There was still a trace of soberness in my mind. There was still room to laugh at myself in my mind. Today, I have lost my reputation. However, what greeted me was not the rainy and concrete ground, but a warm and wide chest, a powerful one. The arm bends to catch me. I tried my best to break free from support, but my hands and feet were so weak that I couldn't use my strength for a while. "Miss, are you all right? Where is your house? Do you want me to take you back?" "Miss." I turned my face and tried to open my eyes wide. I saw a young and handsome face in the blur. His eyes were as bright as morning stars, and staring at me worriedly. I tried to speak. I opened my mouth but couldn't make a sound. The wet clothes wrapped around me. A cold wind hit me. I couldn't help trembling all over, and there was a grid sound between my lips and teeth. "Okay, let's go." The other party said a short sentence, threw away the umbrella in the other hand, quickly removed the coat and put on me, picked me up, and strode out. All the movements happened in an instant, and I didn't have time to object. In fact, I'm not going to struggle either. I don't know why, although it's just a stranger, it makes me feel very at ease. His voice, eyes, and even the faint smell of tobacco on his body make me feel relaxed. In such a warm and powerful embrace, listening to the rhythm of the heart, I only feel unprecedented fatigue and comfort. Then I lost consciousness. It seems that I suffered from intermittent amnesia, and my mind was blank. In the hazy, I seemed to hear someone talking. I couldn't hear it clearly and didn't want to listen. I was immersed in the dark world, and I just wanted to keep sleeping like this all the time. Someone broke my mouth in a trance, and a hot and choking liquid flowed into my throat. I coughed fiercely, and I felt a palm gently patted on my back, and a hot towel wiping my face. I suddenly woke up. My eyes gradually focused, and the scene in front of me gradually became clear. The lighting is soft, and the light blue ambient tone is calming and relaxing. It seems to be an office. I lean back on the sofa with a thick blanket around me. In front of me, a young man bent over, held me in one hand and held a glass of amber liquid in the other, and was looking at me quietly. Before I could speak, a cold voice came from beside me. "You picked a cat the day before, a dog yesterday, and a big living person today. You're not going to throw it to me, right?" Looking at the sound, a short-haired girl was sitting at the desk. There was a big black dog at her feet, and there was a small white cat lying on the dog's stomach. The scene was very interesting. No matter how bad I am, I can't help but laugh. "Are you suggesting that I take her home? Well, miss, would you like to come to the humble house?" The young man also laughed, the corners of his mouth showing his white teeth. "No, I think I should go home." I took off the blanket and tried to get up, dizzy, and fell back on the sofa. "Hey," the young man grabbed my shoulder and pressed it slightly. "You drink a glass of brandy to ward off the cold and take a break." I obediently took a sip from the cup, but coughed again. "Come on, clumsy." The short-haired girl pushed the young man away to take the cup. I reached out and tried to take it, but I couldn't help shivering again. "It doesn't matter, you drink slowly." The girl let out a harmonious voice and gave me an encouraging smile. "This is the boss here, the disgusting and soft-faced Miss Luo Jiaying." The young man said with a smile, "Luo Jiaying." Thinking of the wordy appearance of Zhou Xingxing's teacher reading flowers and plants, I couldn't help but smile, and casually said, "Then I still have Wang Mingquan." As soon as the words came out, I regretted it. "It's Min's." I almost jumped up. "Don't pay attention to him. Hey, it's going to be a joke, it doesn't seem to be a serious problem. In fact, my name is Jia of the award, Yin of the bright red, call me Jia Yin. What about you?" Jiayun patted me, not thinking anything of my witty remarks, and I immediately fell in love with this open-minded girl. My name is Xiaobai. Is it Min's? Yes. Deja vu came to my mind. I turned my head and looked at the young man suspiciously. Yeah, his name is Min's. Just call him Min. Yes, this surname is rare. I hate it. When people call him, he has to be Sir this, or Sir that, as if all of them lowered their eyebrows and agreed to say, yes sir. Yes sir. It's annoying. Jiayun rolled her eyes and the young man laughed. Jiayun, do you want to damage my surname every time? You really hate me so much, then why do you follow me all the way from New York? You. Jiayun was angry, picked up a cushion and smashed it. I feel very comfortable among these two lively and friendly young people, and I have a feeling of reunion with old friends. Xiaobai, are you feeling better now? Take a towel to dry your hair, wrap the blanket tightly, you are soaked all over. Jiayun said while tucking the blanket. I suddenly remembered and looked up at Min, is also wet all over, and is wiping his hair behind our backs, with a white shirt sticking to his body, and a beautiful V-shaped back. I smiled apologetically. The smart Jiayun immediately felt my unease and said, don't worry, Xiaobai, Min is as strong as a cow, it doesn't matter. She stopped and laughed again. Just now, I was really frightened. He was like a robber. When he entered the store, he kicked my office door, which frightened the guests. I thought he had killed someone and was fleeing, but I didn't expect such a beautiful little girl. Tisk tisk tisk. I wanted to, a hero who saves beauty. I couldn't help blushing. I was really embarrassed today. Well, what happened just now? What happened just now? Watching Min turn around and smiling, his eyes were as bright as the stars. The scene from morning to midnight today flashed before my eyes. Ah, the Queen Josephine person that old Joe mentioned, is the person in front of me. I suddenly raised my head and stared at Min. Yes. Min, that rose, Queen Josephine, was brought to Joe by you. The voice was a little higher and seemed a little sharper. Xiaobai. Jiayun looked at me in surprise, and then at Min. Min also took off the towel, revealing some messy brown hair, and after thinking about it, he suddenly realized, oh, you're the little girl Joe mentioned today that looking for me. Yes, I'm that person who gave Joe rose. What's wrong? Where did you find this rose? Well, that variety is rare. I said with some difficulty. Ha ha, Xiaobai, do you like gardening very much? You have such a good eye. Yes, I asked my friend to bring it from France. Jiayun also smiled. Xiaobai, this is a salon bar, because it's called the Emerald Forest, there must be flowers and plants. Because there will be some themed salons on a regular basis, I will find some plants that suit the scene. I do interior decoration and garden design, so I assigned him the job of finding plants. I just held a rose salon 2 days ago, which was about the cultural metaphor, appreciation of medieval European roses and paintings and poems. Sefin is a famous rose garden, so I went to find the Queen Josephine rose as the symbol of this salon. Are the previous plants the ones that appeared in Joe Garden? Seeing my puzzled face, Min smiled. He added, Jiayun is very busy, every time she asks me to find the potted flowers she wants, but couldn't take good care of them. The environment here is noisy and not suitable for growing flowers, and I don't have time, so after each event, I will bring the flowers to Joe to set up. Oh, I see. That's all. Not surprisingly, it is difficult to find a person in a city even after more than 2 years. However, with his ability, it is not difficult to find someone anywhere, unless he never intends to find me. And I am not myself. Deliberately maintaining a low-key lifestyle, resigning and moving again and again, of course, to avoid my mother, but also to avoid his eyes. If you want to find him, you only need to make a phone call. This is my phone number. It's just for Ruth. You can call it any time you want to see me. But I never dialed this number, although it was deeply imprinted in my mind. But I never had the courage to dial it. If I had the courage, I wouldn't choose the life I have now. If you have the courage to. Xiao Bai, are you not feeling well? Xiao Bai. A burst of calls interrupted my chaotic thoughts, only to realize that Jiayun was shaking me gently, and Min bent down and looked at me with concern. Nothing, really nothing. I'm just a little cold, can you give me another glass of wine? I forced a smile. Of course, but it's an 89-year-old brandy, and it's very expensive. Jiayun said with a smile, kicking Min with her foot. Min, keep it on your account. Min poured me a glass of wine. He replied with a smile, why do I seem to remember that all the wines here were moved from my study? Compared with the feelings I put in, how can these wines comfort my hurt? I drank a glass in one breath, and the spicy wine went all the way down my throat. The burning sensation felt very solid. No wonder there are so many people in this world who love to drink. Listening to the two of them fighting each other, I blurted out again, Jiayun, are you two dating? Min smiled but didn't answer. Jiayun glanced at Min and shrugged her shoulders a little discouraged. It's strange, this person doesn't care for others at all, so many winks are thrown on stones. And they will bounce back and smash me. It hurts, ah. Jiayun leaned on top of me exaggeratedly, and sat up straight and looked like she was gnashing her teeth. So, usually I have to call him desperately if I have something to do. To make up for my trauma. Min couldn't help laughing. Miss Jiayun, do you want me to expose you? I don't know who said that. This salon bar is open to see handsome guys, and they are handsome guys with culture and standards. I knew you would fight. With such a wishful thinking, I am lazy to help you choose the name of the store, and waste those words. As soon as he finished speaking, another cushion smashed over. Jiayun said with a bitter face, look at the handsome guy, this place is like a dinosaur concentration camp, and even decent frogs are rare to see. The handsome guy is so popular, he probably has a famous flower already, and the only ones who come here are some dog-tail flowers. If it weren't for Min's support of the scene in attracting many beauties, I don't know how deserted this scene would be. Hey, don't talk like I'm sitting on the stage. Min protested. Being able to sit on the stage shows that you are attractive, and you can't hear compliments. Tell you, Xiao Bai, Min is a playboy. But don't worry, I will protect you. Maybe it's the effect of alcohol, or Jiayun's cheerful laughter. I feel that my body is gradually relaxed and forgetting the tension and uneasiness that winding around the day. The corners of my mouth slowly rise, and I really laugh. Min asked me if I wanted to go home, but Jiayun took my arms and didn't allow me to leave. Xiao Bai, you will catch a cold. Min looked at Jiayun with reproach. I shook my head and said, it doesn't matter. It's warm around the blanket. I don't want to go home. Min sighed, and Jiayun was very happy. So we started chatting. The visitors of the Emerald Forest, several cultural salons held in the past, and the trivial and interesting things encountered by Jiayun and Min. Of course, the two attacked each other from time to time. I listened with a smile and occasionally responded. Time passed, I drank most of the bottle of wine. The wall clock pointer showed that it was 3 a.m. Before that, the migrant brother came in to report the situation of the people and guests. Jiayun waved her hand and said, let's finish our talk here. It's late, you should go home now. Okay, I should go back. Thank you. With a little drunkenness, I staggered. The soles of my feet felt like covered with cotton. My body was very light and I felt very happy. Xiao Bai, you seem to have drunk too much wine. Where do you live? I'll take you back. Min asked gently. Cherry Street. It's not far from here, I can go back by myself. Well, Min also lives in Cherry Street, just on the way. Jiayun hugged me. Xiao Bai, come and play more in the future. By the way, there will be a coffee salon here in a couple of days. You have to come. Min, remember to pick up Xiao Bai then. Jiayun lives on the second floor of the bar. The front door has been locked, and Min and I came out of the back door. There is still a little sporadic light rain outside. It was not far from my company when I came here. What is my doing? Maybe she's still working overtime. With Min's support we walked around the front door and got into a taxi. When I arrived to my apartment, I got out of the car. I was just about to say goodbye to Min, but I saw Min bowing his head and got out of the car, and the taxi drove slowly. Before I could speak, Min said with a smile, "Believe it or not, I happen to live here. You live in this apartment, right?" I nodded and pointed to one of the units. "Here is on the third floor." "Then let's go." Min stepped forward to open the door. It's too late. The old-fashioned fence elevator has been locked, so we have to walk slowly up the stairs. The building is very quiet. Did they go to bed? How many people are dreaming? Did you have a dream? Why haven't I dreamed of him for so long? If I miss him, won't I dream of him? Didn't they say that you have thoughts day and dreams at night? So what do I think every day? That's right. Don't I avoid thinking about those unreachable memories every day? Is it here? Min voice interrupted my nonsense. I looked up and stood at the door. A cartoon posted was on the door. The picture was Xiaozhen's famous dog, Xiaobai. This is a masterpiece of my. She believes that my name Xiaobai came from this cartoon. Wherever I move, she will let me draw a picture of Xiaobai and post it at the door, saying that he should be the watchdog. It's more spiritual than ordinary door gods. My said, I didn't expect that beautiful women also had a naughty side. I was really defeated by her. Oh, yes. Well, I'll go in. Thank you very much today. I touched my pocket, but I couldn't find the key. I probably forgot it in a hurry when I went out. I bent down to remove the corner of the doormat, took out the spare key, opened the door, and put it back in place. Then said goodbye to Min. Min smiled and said, "Aren't you afraid of thieves?" I laugh. I'm not afraid. There are vicious watchdogs at the door. I live upstairs and come to me if you need anything. Okay. Min's smile was warm and kind. He suddenly stretched out his hand to help me open a wisp of hair that was stuck to my eyelash by the wind. I didn't move or feel abrupt. I raised my face and smiled. Thank you. Xiaobai, Min said gently, you have said a lot of thanks today. Go in and have a rest. I finally said goodnight and slowly closed the door. The lights were not turned on, the windows were open, and the cool breeze poured in. Drops of water sound particularly clear in the silent night. The dog suddenly barked a few times and sobbed quietly. I slowly walked to the window and climbed up the windowsill and lay down. The street lights outside glowed a soft light, and a faint aperture in the thin rain and fog looked particularly beautiful. I sighed gently and closed my eyes. End of chapter 6.